What is it with you? What do you got, a death wish or something?
That's what it takes. I just want to race.
All right, Dieselheads, it's episode 28 of the Chronicles of Diesel, the only show that continues to cover everything Vin Diesel till the end of time, from the beginning of time, his filmography, his gameography, his discography. This is the Chronicles of Diesel. My name is Ethan, and with me here, to infinitely war, is Devin. To noun the verb, based off the title.
All that for a drop of blood.
Remember when people were like, oh my god, Tony has this big brain plan because that's all he needed. All he needed was a drop of blood and blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, it was just a cool line to say. That's one thing I've learned after rewatching this movie. So many theories and stuff that didn't, no, none of it. It was just a cool thing to show. A cool thing to have. That was it. Not everything needs to be, have a distinct purpose. Yeah. Yeah. My head down here. I got an eggplant waiting. All right. This is the Chronicles of Diesel. Like I said before, we go through everything Vin Diesel. And we're on episode 28, which means we have covered a total of 36 different movies and games and
things,
shorts and internet videos that are on his IMDb and in Wikipedia. That's the point to put out there. We've covered this many things, and we don't have too many left. We did, if people might be listening along, have listened to all these episodes, they might have heard us say that the show will end on episode 32 in November. However, we've made a decision to extend it 1 month later. Essentially, next month was supposed to be 2 movies. There's a lot of movie. And even though the main idea is because Vin Diesel was barely in both, so then you combine them, and we did that with earlier stuff, you know what I mean? These are long movies, and we're adults, so we split them into 2 episodes. So now the final episode is December 1st of 2022, which I feel like rounds out the year pretty well.
Balance, as all things should be.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's going to be good to end in December, though. Like, it's like end of the year, end of the road, you know what I mean?
Exactly. 33 total episodes, but we are on 28, where we have watched Avengers Infinity War, the 2018 flick. We'll talk about that in a bit. Let's exactly. Now this is a flick. I say it in a good, positive way.
Oh yeah. We're not making. I think we both like this movie. It's just funny to say.
I remember when the criticisms first came out of like, this is definitely the first one of these films that requires your enjoyment to be based off of seeing the previous ones. Yeah. Because it does not explain who any of these people are, because it doesn't have the time to do it. I just remember that criticism, and now I'm like, I get that way with like when they introduce a new people, like the Eternals. I'm like, am I supposed to know who these people are? I feel like I'm supposed to know.
Yeah.
And Shang-Chi, I think, did a little bit better job. But in any case, before we talk about this 2018 film, let's talk about this June. June. It's July June. Right now, July 1st. This June month. It was a better segue in my head.
So here on the Chronicles of Diesel, if this is your first episode, we do a little bit of a recap of what is happening in the now. What is happening presently in the Vin Diesel world. This is VNN, Vin News Network. And we get most of our news and information straight from the man himself by going on his social media, aka mostly his Instagram. I don't really check his Facebook because he doesn't really post on there. He uninstalled the app off his phone. He did what I did. He got sick of it. He was tired of seeing Grandma post the Minion memes. And I didn't get rid of my Facebook. I got rid of the app off my phone a long time ago. Best decision I ever did. Highly recommend. Anyways, yeah, we're going to look at his Instagram, and then if there's any news, I'll let you all know about it. But I think all the news this week is going to come straight from his Instagram, and there's a couple big ones. But he only did, compared to last month, he only did eight posts, which is, I guess, more average, I would say, overall. I mean, last month
there have been months where he only did like 4.
Yeah, but because we know he'd be working, you know what I mean? But
right. He's always working.
He's always working.
Or maybe sometimes he's not working if he shows up late.
Yeah, according to some people. But
allegedly.
Allegedly. He has 8 posts. I'll go through them quickly here because I think there's decent enough information in all of them. The first one is a picture of him from when he was younger, and it has the tag on like a watermark on it that says @Vin Diesel fan art, which I haven't checked out yet to see if that is like a new account or whatever, but someone made fan art of him and it just says smile. Then he did another one where it was it says all love, and it has him and Paul Walker, the regular stuff. But then on June 6th, year of our Lord 2022, he announced out of nowhere, kind of, I think James Gunn tweeted about this a couple days before, but he kind of solidified his involvement in it. But there is a animated cartoon kind of thing called I Am Groot.
Right.
It's coming out August 10th on Disney Plus, and he showed a picture of it and then said, "This was so much fun to do. I Am Groot, Marvel Studios original shorts, coming August 10th to Disney Plus." So we might have to add this. Maybe we can add this to next month. Maybe we just, while we're there. No, this will be August. Well, I'm saying when we do
Avengers Endgame, yeah,
we might as well just throw this in on there. It says a original short, so I don't know how. Well, it says shorts plural, so I don't know if I think there's gonna be multiple episodes actually. So maybe we have to wait till it's over to do it.
I think what we'll do is when it's all over, we'll have we'll replace the Sonic Movie Show episode with a Chronicles of Diesel special episode.
We haven't done one of those in a long time because
we've only done 3.
Because in the first one it was like, or the one of them that we did was like super early on because that was Bloodshot, which we'll revisit, which is going to be crazy because it feels like yesterday when we reviewed that. But yeah, so be on the lookout for that. But yeah, I Am Groot. I didn't know this was coming out. I feel like James Gunn
I had heard about it, but it was one of those like we announce it. And then it goes in the void,
because
Disney
there's
just
supposed to
needs
be
announce
still.
shit.
I know we said December would be our last Vin Diesel thing, but supposedly there's still supposed to be the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special as well.
Yeah, and
in the works. But I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything announced though.
Right.
But James Gunn
and he's going to be in future movies and stuff. So let's cement this now so people know. Whenever there's a new Vin Diesel film or game, because Arc 2 comes out next year. And hopefully he's in the single player and not like some multiplayer NPC, so I could just play the story and that's it. Whenever there's a new Vin Diesel thing, we'll watch, play, whatever it, and do an episode. So we'll continue the show for that stuff only. So when F to F Fast X comes out, that will be whatever that episode number next one would be is going to be that. For the Groot, because we're still going through this, it's a special episode, you know what I mean, in the middle of this. Maybe we revisit that later in the future. I don't want to commit to that right now. But, once we go through all 33 of these episodes, when he comes out with the new movie, a new Guardians 3, because he's going to be Groot in that, I'm imagining, on the holiday special, that's the next episode, 34, 35, you know what I mean, going on.
Gotcha. But, so he announced this, and Ludacris dropped some fire emojis in the comments.
That's a little bit too ride or die. Or that's just his branding deal money move.
I wish Ludacris was in my chat though. At everything I post, if he was just like, ride or dying with me, hell yeah, I would take that. Ludacris. You wouldn't take him?
That's fair. I mean, I would take him over Tyrese.
Imagine him being in your Twitch chat. Ludacris.
I would take that. If I had Tyrese in my Twitch chat, he'd be like, when we hear you. And we're doing it.
Yeah.
He seemed like almost upset.
Yeah. He's like, I don't like where my character is going.
Probably.
And then he did a post on, once again, him and Rita Moreno, who we've talked about last time. Just a picture of them on set with #FastX. And then a picture of him shirtless from, I think, a little bit in his early days, saying... Lead with love. The rest will follow. P.S. This is for Ethan. If no one told you they love you today, let me be honored to be the first. All love always. So that's for you right there.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and for everyone listening, hey.
No, that went to me first. So
you have you first, but it goes trickle down Loveonomics, yeah. Then he did another Vin Diesel fan art repost. He did fan art love. That was 2 weeks ago. And then he dropped a minute-long real-time footage captured on Unreal Engine 5 of Arc 2.
Right.
And it's been so long since we saw the original reveal at the Game Awards a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if this was old or not, but I think this is new. But there's some velociraptors. They're fighting. They're jawing at each other. But then the big T-Rex comes with armor on, and there's a girl, I believe, narrating, and he's up there too with them, and he's riding the T-Rex. All right.
Yeah,
but he wrote,
I saw that.
But he commented this on his Instagram. He said, "Happy Creative Sunday. God bless." He didn't say God bless. I added that in. The best game out right now, is Ark Survival Involved. My son introduced me to this game many years back. Then Wildcard and all of their genius over there asked me to shepherd their IP into. This is where the big thing comes, because we knew there was going to be a game. For sure, right? To shepherd the IP into the TV and film space. An honor I can't begin to describe. Any real gamer is excited for Arc 2, but I am excited for you to see all the franchise unfold on the big screen.
I know about the
Stay
big
tuned.
screen.
All love always. And Ludacris, once again, dropping the fire emojis in chat.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Buy my vodka. Or whatever he did. There was an Arc animated series announced, because we have that on the future docket.
Okay, I didn't remember.
Speak,
It's been a minute.
The movie thing, that's news to me.
But yeah, big screen. That's a big deal. Also, he didn't mention it yet, and it's weird he hasn't mentioned it. So I don't know if he's actually in it still, but I thought he was. Avatar 2.
Right.
That comes out in December, because I was
and
in theaters.
3 and 4 and 5.
Well,
right?
I went to the theaters recently, and they were showing the trailers for it, and I'm like, oh, we're gonna have to go see this, right? And I'm like,
oh God.
But I'm like, I couldn't find Vin Diesel's name, so I don't know if he's in it or not, or if he's supposed to be in later projects. But I feel like he would have talked about it now. But he's also in Fast 10 development, and they even work on that movie for way too long. So we'll see. And then he did a video talking to us, just saying, another amazing week. You can go watch that if you want to hear the man himself speak to you. Very calming. Yeah, that's really it. But yeah, I'm waiting to see if we get anything with Avatar, just because I feel like that's coming up. But maybe he's not in a major role in that. And also, I would like to see more about this Christmas special, especially now that we're watching all these movies. I'm curious to see what's going to be in it and what time it takes place in and whatnot. I don't know. It's got me kind of excited.
I forgot Zoe Saldana's was in the Avatar movie, and she's going to be the co-star, and she's the main girl there. Ugh.
And I will say, I know
not for her, but
I know
for
we
the
hate
movie.
Avatar, but visually it looks pretty good.
Sigourney Weaver's still going to be in it? I thought she died. It's been 2 decades since I've seen that movie.
The character, by the way, not
yeah,
her in real
the
life.
character.
Just for people back home, maybe got a little heart skip.
Someone on YouTube comments made me think Chef Gordon Ramsay died, and I'm like, no. Yeah,
we shouldn't even talk about people dying, because that one time we talked about Meatloaf, the next day he died.
That's true.
And that was really fucking
That's true.
Best
part of that movie.
Matrixy vibes I was getting. I'm like, how we just talked about him. It knows.
Yeah.
Boltzmann brain.
Boltzmann.
Boltzmann brain.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Is that it for VNN?
Yeah, that's it for
Damn, it's
June.
a light month. I need me my big, drama scoops. No, I'm actually glad
nothing,
there's no
nothing
drama.
for hashtag beefs.
Beef Watch.
Beef
You
Watch.
almost said Beef Squad.
I almost said beef state,
Oh.
which is a lettuce lobby thing that no one wants to.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah. Follow at Lettuce Lobby on Twitter to see.
Yeah, there's some
months-old
really
tweets.
cool people running that account. They're doing a lot of good work out
They
there.
played Halo one night and decided that. I'm glad that there's no feud stuff still going on, because I feel like that's healthy for everyone. And maybe this was a wake up call for Vin, that a lot of this maybe Justin Lin leaving, which, by the way, Justin Lin is doing a movie based off
I forgot what it was.
An anime or a comic book or
I forgot what it was, but
something
we were
that
talking about
sounded cool.
wow, he left to go do that. I forgot what it was though. It was something silly.
It didn't seem too silly, but it was like an anime or something. Any case, so I wonder if this was a bit of a wake up call for Vin Diesel of like, okay, maybe I need to actually step up a bit.
That's what it was.
One Punch Man. That's right.
Yeah.
I never. That was one of those animes where I'm like, maybe
we were
I would
saying
watch
we were
that.
saying it on. I posted on Twitter that he went from one bald man to another.
That's right. Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I think I haven't seen that show or read the book, that manga or whatever, but I'm pretty sure it's like a Superman type of dude that can defeat anyone in one punch, and he's just really bored. But I don't know, like, and it's like a comedy, so
Okay.
I'd be interested to see. Like, all the villains still challenge him, like oh, I can take you on, but all it takes is one punch.
I think
Still.
he should get The Rock for that. I think that would be fucking hilarious.
Revenge.
It wouldn't make any sense, but like it'd be so funny that like
I mean,
like there's a
if there was a
Formula
real
like
life
press
One Punch
conference
Man,
and everything. Yeah, let's be real. Like The Rock probably can one punch a lot of people instantly and kill them.
yeah.
Maybe some of the more better boxers in this world, but like me easily. It wouldn't even take half his strength.
Yeah. Even if I was coming at him and bobbing and weaving, he could still do it in one hit.
Even if I
He'd be too
prepared
fast
for it,
him.
I'm dead.
Yeah. Yeah. Enjoy your gaming. Every time I don't game, I feel like I've letting The Rock down with his advertisements and the game advertisements.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about Avengers Infinity War, the 2018 film.
Great year.
Directed by the brothers. The brothers, yes. Mario and Luigi. Anthony and Joe Russo. Producer Kevin Feige, as always with all of these Marvel things. I actually kind of wonder if this Kevin Feige guy is a weirdo or is just a super money hat, or if he's actually like a real creative person still. Like
at this point?
Because I feel like at this point he's just about the long term, making sure we don't put all of the cool shit up at once. That's why we're not doing X-Men for a while, because we're going to wait until we're sick and tired of all of Thor and all these people. Then we'll do the X-Men, we'll pepper in cool things later. I almost feel like
yeah.
I could see him as
X-Men thing, like just make that the main focus
for a while, and then
no more Avengers for a bit. We'll take a break.
Yeah, and then we bring him back, and it's
gonna be
cool
10 years
people.
from now. They're gonna bring back the Avengers, and somehow everyone's alive, and
yeah, because think about it. This movie came out 10 years after Iron Man. This was their 10th anniversary thing, right?
People love nostalgia, so it's gonna be like shit will fucking go. God damn.
Yep. I mean, Disney purchased the likeness.
Tom
of
Holland will be
Stan Lee.
35. He'll be old Spider-Man.
Now, I have something to tell you, Devin. I don't know if you actually knew this piece of trivia. We live in the dark timeline, as we know. That's not the trivia. And one way that you can tell that we're in the one way that you can tell that we're in the dark timeline is because for the role of Tony Stark, Iron Man, we have Robert Downey Jr. Now, not saying that he's a bad person, but compared to who they were originally going for, this is the dark timeline. Because in the alternate universe, the light timeline, it was legitimately Tom Cruise that they were going to go for to be Iron Man. Now, would it have worked out? It's hard to tell because Tony Stark is basically Robert Downey Jr. visually. You know what I mean? Same thing with Samuel Jackson being Nick Fury. He's visually that man. So it's hard to see.
And Tom Cruise hasn't been in the Marvel universe yet.
No, he hasn't.
He should just be Maverick.
Yeah, he'll be in a Captain Marvel movie.
Or
she flies
you make
planes.
him in Blade because you can bring back his character from Interview with a Vampire. There you go. There's a reference.
Okay.
Be all like weirdly sexual. I love it.
Or he'll be like Mark Wahlberg, who popped up in like 30 seconds in Thor Ragnarok.
I just don't remember that, but yeah.
And the beginning of the movie in wherever they live, Odin's place, there was a play going on about Thor and Loki saving the day or whatever, and he's playing like Thor or something like that.
Okay,
but you don't even notice that it's Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Or no, it was Matt Damon, not Mark Wahlberg. It was one of the two. They fucking look the same. That's where I'm getting mixed up on. Regardless, so they could do a Tom Cruise in there somewhere. But yeah, 10 years later, we get Avengers: Infinity War. And yeah, this was a very, very long movie. And
it only gets longer.
Only gets longer. Not necessarily in a bad way. It's just a dense movie with lots of stuff.
It's hard to make time for it, if that makes sense. Especially after seeing it. It's one thing if we're seeing opening night or whatever, opening week, and you're going with your friends or family. When it's we're doing it for a podcast or whatnot. Right. Even if I'm excited
I have to push time away.
I'm just okay, I think I did it on Monday or whatever, because I had off from work, and I got up at 8:30, put the movie on by 8:50, and I was done by noon.
Went to sleep.
Yeah. And,
it's in the morning.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched this last Wednesday, a couple days after you, and it was very much okay, I have to go to bed now. I guess time to go to bed. This movie is 149 minutes long. That is 2 hours and 29 minutes and change, I'm sure, with seconds. The budget on this movie is listed in a range of $325 million to $400 million. However, we need to keep this in mind, unless there's information that I'm not aware of. They filmed this movie alongside Endgame back-to-back, combined, the Lord of the Rings, and potentially Fast 10s 1 and 2. I don't know. So this budget is for both of them. As far as I'm aware,
it's even
this
better
budget was for both of them.
They probably, damn.
Because in 2018, it was reported that the budget was $300 million, and it was specifically stated between the two movies, right? So we don't know what the actual direct money spent filming this, because they're also filming scenes in similar locations for the other movie. So, regardless, box office, this movie made $2.048 billion.
Insane.
In probably non-taxable income.
No one's
Disney.
touching that. Unless, I still don't think the hype.
Well, the third movie did.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying these next couple Avengers movies, no one's touching these until there's some sort of big
when they go away and come back type of stuff.
But I'm saying Avatar was one before it, right? Was the one broke the
and
1 billion mark? And Titanic
yeah.
was before that, I think. So James Cameron has two on them.
Yeah.
I don't know if Avatar 2 is going to be able to. It's been so long, so it's hard to tell the excitement. Because what made Avatar 1 successful, I think, was the 3D and whatnot, the spectacle behind it,
And this movie isn't in 3D, I don't think. I haven't seen it advertised as such.
No.
This is just Avatar Way of Water. Here's a trailer that has no one speaking up in it until the very end, and it's a weird line that says, "Our family is a fortress." Oh yeah, there's people in this. I forgot you were a family.
Yeah.
I'm just curious how movie's aesthetic.
I'm saying in terms of that, what isn't Avengers, something that has a shot at beating this anytime soon. I guess it might be, but I still think I don't know. It's gonna be tough.
When Endgame came out, I know we're gonna eventually review Endgame for this podcast, but this is about budgets at box offices. Endgame came out and it did not beat Avatar right away. It took them for a couple months when it was in theaters to finally beat them and pass it. And then later that year, Avatar pops up in China in theaters, and then it goes back to number one.
So dumb.
Because it's all still And then later this year, before Avatar 2, I'm pretty sure I read that Avatar is going back in theaters again. So
that actually makes sense, though, with the marketing. If you select AMC theaters or whatever.
It's been 13 years since that first movie. You know what I mean? These people are so old. I've seen it once.
Bryn watched
it
one
twice.
day. I
saw it twice.
Because I think it's on Disney Plus or something.
It is now, I imagine.
I remember we were going through Disney Plus and it says continue watching, and it had Avatar to the end credits basically, and I'm like, did you? I asked her, I'm like, did you watch Avatar? She's like, yeah, it sucked, and I'm like, you could have asked. I could have told you. She's like, I never saw it, and I'm like, oh, you're one of the few people who didn't.
I watched a bootlegged version of it before I saw it in theaters. But I'm glad I saw it in theaters because of the aesthetic, the 3D effects and whatnot. But Spider-Man No Way Home is going back into theaters this fall with an extended cut version. It's called the More Fun Stuff edition or something weird like that.
I don't care.
If I hear that there's cool scenes in it and it's actually substantial, I'll go see it. If not, then like I probably won't, because that's gonna.
There's
be
just
like
so many other
$20.
things coming out that I'm just like
I don't have time for
I
movies
loved
anymore,
that.
personally.
I loved that movie, but like at the same time, it was Marvel. You know.
Yeah,
And that's what I will say before we like go fully into this. Like my general, like I've seen this once until we watched it again. I didn't see it in theaters. Endgame I saw in theaters because we worked our way up right before Endgame came out.
Right.
At the time,
You did, yeah.
Because there was a whole bunch I didn't see, so we kind of
Right.
did them in chronological order.
Right.
But I remember like from here until probably Endgame and maybe Spider-Man Far From Home, I would say like after that, I feel like this is the golden era. And like all the movies that have came out since, I feel like are just like fine. And I don't know, like I don't know if it's because there's a build up to this that makes them good, the other ones like good, or if it's the whole cast being here for these movies. I don't know what it is, but it's hard for me to be like excited for the next Marvel thing right now.
Oh, it's because
compared
Endgame...
to even when I wasn't even caught up, I was still like, oh, that's cool. Oh man, there's another. Oh, that's cool. I have to watch that at some point. And then when we watched them all chronologically, it was fun, especially once you got past like the first Avengers movie. I think from there on, it gets really good. Yeah. And then obviously like Infinity War to Endgame, like that whole year, I feel like was fun.
Yeah, because it was in 2018 it was Black Panther, then Infinity War, then the year after it was Captain Marvel, Endgame, Spider-Man, and Far From Home. But then like even Far From Home
doesn't help that the pandemic hit the next year too.
Sure. But I think like it's more of like you're saying it was all build up to Endgame and this movie obviously. They did a thing when they first announced this wave of movies. They said Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2. And then when they started to do the marketing for Infinity War, it was just Infinity War, and then there's also an untitled Avengers movie, because I think that they wanted people to think of this more as a standalone movie and less of a Part 1. It was a Part 1, obviously. And they wanted to have a cooler name, I'm sure, for the second one. But because Infinity War is kind of a dumb name.
It's fine.
It doesn't really... the Infinity Stones, but it's
better than Age of Ultron,
whatever.
Which to me
I like that. I like
really
that name. I like that name. Yeah, I like that name.
I like Infinity War more.
Okay,
personally, I like the idea of. It makes kind of sense too, with it being like.
It just felt like
broad, like it's such a broad.
We were building, I guess, to me,
and then the whole infinite possibilities of how they beat him. There's only one kind of.
Yeah, well, actually, let's talk about that right now, because we're gonna get to that scene eventually. Because did you see Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness?
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Like I'm go back and forth with these fucking Marvel movies. Because on one hand, I really like geeking out, even though I don't really know anything about certain comics besides X-Men. Really, I don't really know any of these people are. I don't know who Doctor Strange is or whatever. And then some parts of me is like, no, these are just Disney. It's a corporation. Like these at some points feel like lowest common denominator types of films, etc., but it's still fun to talk about them or whatever. In that movie, it tries to touch upon, and spoilers for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, I was
skip ahead 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It's still possible you didn't. It's on Disney Plus now, but it's possible you guys didn't see it. Skip ahead 3 minutes. In that movie, it tries to make a somewhat of a theming or a plot point, or something, but it doesn't really succeed very well with it, about the fact that Doctor Strange always has to be the one. You can't trust anyone to make the calls. It has to be him. People were talking in theories, because it was said, I think, in the first Doctor Strange movie, the Time Stone allows you to see like the future or whatever, but it's your future, and it stops when you die. So in this movie, when he says he saw 14 billion million possibilities and only one they win, it's the only one that he lived in that they won. He didn't see beyond his death, and he selfishly wanted that one to happen.
Oh,
but that's not
cool.
said. That should have been said in Doctor Strange 2, in the Multiverse of Madness. It should have been said that, because people are saying like, that's how it works. That's how it was said in the first movie. I think I'm going by what people said. Reading this, like, Does it really seem like it's like I'm all here for movie magic and plot holes are dumb? And yes, 1 out of 14 million is still a die roll that's possible. But like you can look at that and be like, really? They just really? We just got really lucky. No, they could have easily won so many other ones, but he would have been dead for it. And so he went with the one that he would have lived in. Right?
That's kind of
cool. And so
though.
basically you can look at that as like he sacrificed Tony Stark to live.
That's cool though, but once again, like you said, I didn't really get that impression from the movie. It was just kind of what you were saying, where like the general theme was like you're kind of an asshole,
and he's not proven wrong.
No,
he's just still, like I liked the Sam Raimi movie because it's a Sam Raimi movie and it's goofy and dumb. And when she's crookingly walking through the hallway like a horror monster, I'm like, yes, I'm happy. I'm happy right now.
When he is a zombie and has all the arms.
Yeah,
come out, awesome. And then they're like literally speaking, and I'm pretty sure there's some Evil Dead fucking voice actors in that or whatever.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
awesome. I was there for that. But them trying to do you always had to be the one to hold the knife. Like they needed to drive that home more, and said that thing because that's an awesome idea. But as I feel like we might be learning, some Marvel fans don't like hearing. Depth in characters, especially when they could be bad guys. They don't like that the Scarlet Witch is a bad person. They still need to be a stand for.
Yeah, I was gonna say she needed
X-Men character.
She needed to be killed.
Yeah,
like multiple times.
Yeah. She needed to have been put down. Yeah, whatever. And maybe Civil War went way over these people's heads. Politically then about freedom versus gaining control or whatever. But any case, spoilers are over for Doctor Strange. So that's a fun thing in Infinity War that I was reminded of when watching this. I'm like, oh yeah, he set a really high number.
And he has one of my I made a joke about it before we recorded. Like he has one of my favorite lines though in the movie too, which is like you'll find our fate or our will. I don't remember
equal to yours.
Equal to yours. It's cool how he delivers it, and then like this shit happens. And he's obviously, I think he's also one of my favorite like just Marvel movie characters because he's just cool.
He's been in more movies that aren't titled after him than any other
just
one.
Crazy, Not Iron Man.
After Doctor Strange, he was in Infinity War and Endgame, Spider-Man, and something else as well. Oh, and Thor Ragnarok. Remember, Thor visits him.
Everyone's always visiting him.
Yeah, but he's a good side character. Like they gave him a chance to. Let's talk about this movie. Let's talk about Avengers: Infinity War. Although he is a major player and actor in this film, so that's fair. So a little over $2 billion. Let's go through this. Just kind of general scene by scene. Like this isn't really a movie to recap because it's a lot of just action and comedic timing. Cool stuff.
I say like every 10 minutes, roughly, is what we should cover.
Oh man,
every
10 minutes.
Every
10 minutes. That's 149 scenes.
But you know what I mean. Just like this movie's long. A lot of shit happens, like you said, and then in Endgame's going to be even harder. So.
Yes. I will say, because you talked about when you saw this movie, this is my 4th time seeing this movie. I saw it twice in theaters, and then I saw it once more before Endgame, and then now for this episode. So I remember this a lot. There's actually one very key part that's integral to this podcast, I guess, that I forgot that I'm glad I remember. Like, oh, okay. We'll get there when we get there. But I find overall I enjoyed this movie, but I remember at the time walking away being disappointed only because maybe I'm weird, but like I didn't like that the final battle was just in a field, and I didn't like that Captain America's shield wasn't a regular shield, and it didn't. Some things about it I didn't really care for too much. It felt like in a
weird.
Well.
It was like in a weird park too, like the where like Thanos does the snap and everything. Like I wish it was like kind of what the Endgame was like, where it was just kind of like a place where it's just war torn to oblivion. That's right.
And like, yeah, this was outside Wakanda, but they don't show Wakanda in those shots most of the time.
Yeah.
It's in the field, angled away, so it doesn't feel like it's anchored to anything, And then they're on
Or I
Titan,
wish they did it in space,
but
where I did it because I really loved the set piece where Iron Man, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, and the Guardians of the Galaxy were
Titan.
That was cool.
Yeah,
I love that whole color palette and everything there.
Maybe this is my issue. Both of those fights felt like they were the build up to the final fight of the movie that was the next movie, So it felt like, oh man, we weren't building into the cool thing. But I liked this movie overall. I really liked I actually liked Thor's kind of need the weapon kind of side thing that they were doing.
I really liked the Guardians' whole thing through this, because they're kind of like thrown into this thing that they weren't expected to go on, and they wind up being very important, especially with Gamora.
Yeah,
I really like Gamora's character throughout the Guardians movies, and I forgot that I'm like, oh yeah, she has a major part in this film.
Yeah, and she dies.
Yeah,
in this movie. Yeah, Josh Brolin was Thanos. And he was very good in that role.
Wasn't he supposed to be Batman?
I never heard that.
I read somewhere I thought he was supposed to be Batman at one point, or something like that.
He was Cable in Deadpool 2, though, and they was filming around the same time. But yeah, we begin with essentially the ending of Thor Ragnarok, the Asgardian refugee ship that was leaving because Asgard's dead. Thanos is there. They don't show it and they don't explain it. It's only until a throwaway line by Thor later that yes, half the people died. It wasn't everyone, because I thought everyone had died. I thought they were all dead except for him. Yeah, but I guess half of them are okay somewhere. And yeah, Endgame shows that. But I'm like, oh, okay, interesting. Some cool stuff here. I like that Loki, tries to trick the bad guy to save his brother.
I really
he is the good guy at this point. He's a good person now.
Generally, I will say I did just like the idea of, especially if you, followed along throughout, seeing everything, the fact that when the first Avengers movie came out, that was a big deal, and the bad guy was Loki, and they're showing okay, this threat is so much bigger. He kills Loki, which is, I think, cool. They're oh, you thought that there's always a bigger fish, kind of at you know what I mean. But this is, you thought Loki was tough. This is the next big guy. And I really like that. Kills Loki, and it's kind of from here on out, you're okay, people will die in this.
Yeah, and quite a few people die in this that are dead, including Idris Elba's character. I forgot his name. But he is Knuckles. The dude that Knuckles dies. He's the dude that guards the bridge, the whatever it's called. I don't know, the light beam of light that teleports you.
Yeah.
I forgot what it's called.
He sends
but
Hulk.
then and the Hulk goes to fight, and I liked this scene too because brute strength, but the guy is also just as strong, and he is tactically superior in how he moves. He's very efficiently attacking weak points and joints.
I think they wanted to show too that hey, the Hulk isn't invincible, and it isn't going to just be him. Kind of almost I feel that was put in to be hey, before anyone does the whole Eagles could have flown the ring to Mordor kind of thing. Nope, here's him beating Hulk before. Let's get that out of the way. It's thinking Hulk would have beat him. Nope.
Yeah,
it's gonna take a team effort.
And they wanted to make sure he already had a stone so that there wasn't a completely quote-unquote powerless Thanos. He could at least teleport anywhere. Or no, he had the power one. So, which is kind of nebulously just energy or whatever. So, and it's used a bit. And then we cut to Tony Stark jogging around, talking to a high out of her mind Gwyneth Paltrow. This era of her life she does not remember very much. She's a weirdo. But and then we cut to Doctor Strange and Wong, and then they all kind of meet up together, so to speak,
to discuss that Thanos is coming. And I totally forgot that Iron Man 3 kind of had that nightmare of Thanos coming, that was a big deal for him, and they quickly talk about this again. I'm like, oh yeah, that's like his whole thing was
PTSD thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember how he got that, but I was like, whatever.
It was from in Avengers when he goes through the wormhole or whatever into space to take the nuke up there. And he just has this like horrifying epiphany seeing all of the alien warships and stuff heading in their direction. That like they're fucked. Earth is just fucked. And that's why he does the Ultron stuff in Age of Ultron, because he's like, we're fucked. We need to have this thing, suit of armor around the world. We need to have a suit of armor around the world, you know, because we're fucked. And they still are, you know. But then he trusts the government, which, you know, he goes from wanting to be the sole deciding person of we need a suit of armor around the world to trust the government to tell us what to do, you know. So, well, but yeah, that's where he gets this thing. They did a cool introduction to the fact that, yes, Doctor Strange does have the Time Stone. And they do this by explaining what they are. They say there's 6, but they only show 5. And then for the 6th one, he shows that he has it. Okay. And that plot thing there is that he wants to use it, and he's supposed to protect it. Tony Stark says, why don't we just fucking destroy it? And he's right.
Yeah.
You know, he was right there.
But once again, going back to the Doctor Strange wants that power.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. He can't be in the wrong. So here's having, you know, I had hype watching the movie because there's some parts I'm like, yeah, this is cool or whatever, but like most of that's drained away and I can watch the movie and examine it for what it is in a fun way still. And there is plenty of shots in this movie that are very cool, but because the movie has to do so many things, I feel like sometimes there is a slight disconnect, or something ends a bit too early, or we jump from cool shot vibe to something different, and this happens here. So all of a sudden something strange is going on, and they kind of feel vibrations, and they look outside, and it becomes like almost like a found footage type of the way the camera follows them. We have no idea what's going on, and then they turn the corner and you just see this giant space donut.
It honestly reminded me so much of the latest Doctor Strange movie. This is in the trailer where the squid monster thing comes.
Yeah.
Which almost made it funnier to me. Like, I don't think this is on purpose, but I'm like, is all the Doctor Strange's like shit that he has to deal with always like right down the street from like their place? Because I think Spider-Man has the same thing where like Spider-Man winds up like having an issue right nearby. So I kind of like that if they ever continue more. I hope they continue doing it. But like, I like the idea like there's always an issue, and it's like right there,
and it's around the corner.
Yeah,
that eyeball tentacle monster thing in the Doctor Strange 2 trailer is a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 character.
Oh, really? That's funny.
You can play as that guy in MVC 2, which is kind of funny. Back on the PlayStation. But it's this really tense shot, and the camera's low, and they're really showing you like it's in like War of the Worlds type of thing. And then it does a cut to an aerial version, and it just doesn't feel quite the same. And then we need to introduce Spider-Man. Then we cut to him on the bus, and his arm hair, his Spidey sense tingles. I don't know why I said his arm hair tingles.
His
Spidey
arm
sense
hair tingles.
So we go from something that's like a really cool vibe, and then that's just gone. So, like, there's parts in this movie, because they filmed so much, that have certain vibes, and it's hard to really pick up on them, I know. And I'm critiquing this because I saw that was really cool, and I wish that they continued maybe a bit more, but they need to have the fun, campy, calling him Squidward, you know, type of stuff.
I did like Squidward guy, actually. Like, I didn't remember liking him this much, but I just loved his whole, like, his powers. He's very, like, almost Dungeons and Dragons-esque of like a some sort of grand wizard of some sort, that he just has these powers and they don't explain it, and that's just cool.
He just has telekinesis. At first I thought it was like magnets, but he clearly is just able to pick up anything.
Yeah, and I just like that. And he floats around and doesn't seem like in a physical struggle. You know what I mean? And I just really like that. I thought he was cool, like a cool. And
then you just have big dude with hammer at the end of a chain.
Yeah.
Okay. These people are Thanos' children, much like how Gamora is, supposedly. And yeah, they're fighting them, and Spider-Man comes. Like, oh wow, gee golly willikers, I'm 19.
I forget like how
16
how
or
goofy his character is supposed to be. Then I feel like he's so much more mature now in the other ones. On purpose,
like,
obviously.
Oh wow!
But
remember that really old movie pop culture thing?
yeah, he talked about
Just to
aliens
make
or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, it was in Captain America: Civil War. Is like, have you guys ever seen that really old movie Star Wars?
Yeah.
or whatever. And it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they all grown. They didn't really care for that part. But and then they do some fight stuff. Bruce Banner cannot get the Hulk to come out because the Hulk is like, hey, fuck you. Fun fact: there was a huge amount of deleted stuff from Endgame. That was him doing the thing where he becomes permanently Hulk or whatever. What's his name that plays Bruce Banner? I forget. His name is escaping me at this moment. Mark Ruffalo said that Thor Ragnarok, Infinity War, and Endgame are like a Hulk trilogy for character development, and like the actual conflicting struggle thing got cut out from a 3-hour movie, which I understand. You know what I mean? But so we just cut. When next time we see him, their struggle isn't a thing anymore, and he's just fine.
That kind of sucks because I really feel like.
Because in this movie he struggles.
Yeah,
and he's like, we have a lot of talking to do, buddy, because there is no give.
Wonder if they could ever like maybe make like a
4-hour cut.
No, I'm saying like a little like short movie or something with that footage. Shit, I'd rather have that than like Miss Marvel on Disney Plus. Like just have like a 4-episode Hulk thing, because we haven't had a Hulk movie besides the one where he's supposed to be the same. He's supposed to be the same guy, but isn't the same guy.
That's true. And I think they kind of try to make up for that by making Hulk like clearly the most entertaining person in that Avengers movie. Because like, hey, we ain't doing this again. He ain't getting his own movie. They essentially end up with Iron Man, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange is captured. They're on the ship and they're going up away. Because then we cut to space. And it just says space, which I love.
This is the James Gunn effect here with the.
And then you hear Rubber Band playing, and yet the Guardians are just flying. Now, this takes place like a month after Guardians 2, according to James Gunn. Guardians 1 and 2, it's a few years in between. Or no, I take that back. Sorry.
I was gonna say
Guardians 1 and 2 is like a month. It's been several years since then. So, because these movies like to take place in the year they come out in 2014 is when Guardians 1 took place. You would think 2017 is when Guardians 2 is, but no, it's still 2014. So it's been 2015, 16, 17, it's been 4 years, roughly.
Yeah.
That they've been doing a whole bunch of stuff together. 4 full years with the same music. And that's why Groot is a teenager now.
Yeah, our Vin Diesel's character.
Yep. I am Groot, but he says that in a nasalier voice, and he's addicted to a Space Invaders LCD game. Yeah. So let's talk about Vin Diesel as Groot. He doesn't have too much stuff in here.
He has not many scenes at all. But I forgot he had one important scene, but we'll get to that.
Yes, then I forgot that as well. But yeah, no, he's there. I wonder if, because Thor Love and Thunder comes out next month. Oh my god. Or I guess, no, it's July right now, so it comes out this month. I probably will go see that in theaters because I like that. I am down for that. I wonder if he's still going to be Teenage Groot. I wonder if in Guardians 3 he'll be Teenage Groot.
I was going to say, we might have to go watch that and do an episode.
I don't know. Oh, yeah. Fuck.
See, what's great about this show is that we sometimes we forget what Vin Diesel's in because he's in these random small off one thing. So there you go, folks.
I need to Google this. Is Vin Diesel in Thor Love and Thunder?
Because maybe he doesn't have any lines. 'Cause I have a feeling the Guardian stuff is going to be super quick in that movie. I feel like it's going to be the first 10 minutes. It might not even have a line. It might just be them fighting.
It might just show him.
Yeah.
He's listed. He's listed.
He's gonna have one line that's gonna be fucking hilarious.
Oh my god.
That'll be a special episode.
We'll do a special episode on it. That's fine. We committed to doing everything. We can't say we do everything in the beginning of these episodes if we don't do everything. So, yeah. I mean, I don't think the Guardians are going to be in that movie very much.
Like I said, it's going to be the first 10 minutes. I put money on it.
Which feels kind of lame because I feel like they set up a cool team up at the end of Endgame and then the creative vision is no. But still, respect that they're at least trying something in there. And who knows, they might show up at the end. But he's obviously going to be in
Guardians.
And what's it called? Yeah. Okay, so they're there. The Thor hits the windshield. They get him in. I really love Dave Bautista's "No, you're a dude. This is a man. This is like a pirate and an angel had a baby."
Yeah.
And Chris Pratt gained weight. And so they joke about that. One of my favorite jokes is Rocket saying, "You can't eat dumbbells." When Chris Pratt says, "I'm going to get a Bowflex. I'm going to get some dumbbells." It's like, you can't eat dumbbells. Like, yeah.
Their whole that's why like this whole scene makes me excited for Thor: Love and Thunder. That like because Chris Pratt and Chris Hemsworth have a great, even though it's very short, they do have a great like back and forth because they're both very funny people. So I just really like this, especially when Chris Pratt starts doing the impression.
That's right. I had forgotten about
which
that.
Was
yeah.
Way too on point.
Yeah. And he's still up on the air if we like Chris Pratt, but I like him.
We like Chris Pratt. It's just that he's in too much shit.
I don't want him in Mario.
That's it. All right, but he broke.
I don't want him.
Hey, that's not his fault.
He calls his Mario voice an upgrade. I feel like I'm insulted by hearing that.
It's gonna be you're gonna watch it, but you're like, I need him to be in the games now.
And then some publicist said that his accent won't offend Italians. I'm like, you're missing the point. You're completely missing the point. The Italians aren't offended by Mario's accent. And if they are, then Charles Martinet is doing a good job representing the spaghetti culture. So in any case, yes, they decide to split up. They need Thor's going to go to Neville Delir to get an axe, or he's get a hammer. He's going to get a new hammer.
killing weapon.
A Thanos killing weapon. And then the other Guardians are going to go to nowhere where one of the other stones is, and there's a cool scene coming up from that. But then we cut to, is this like Prague or someone? I don't remember where this was. But
they're on
Vision and Wanda
somewhere.
are there. Essentially what it sounds like, because they were on opposite sides in the Civil War. Wanda was with the cool people, aka Captain America and company, and Vision was in the Man. He was with the Man.
But he didn't know better. He didn't know better.
I made sure I make some dumb statistics-based arguments as to why they all need to be cops. I don't agree with that. I'm going to say this right now. Paul Bettany's hair is perfect in this scene. But
he's a good looking.
It's just
guy.
his normal hair.
He's a good looking guy.
There's the only part in his entire career in the Marvel universe where he won't have paint on him.
He's like he probably was like, thank God. That whole week when they were shooting that, he's like,
this is the easiest. I got to show up late and I was still on time. Type of stuff.
I have to sleep in today. It was fantastic.
Because and I will say this, it's worth it to paint your actors. Gamora looks green. Vision looks red.
Nebula, amazing.
Looks blue, right?
Yeah.
Different shades of blue. The World of Warcraft cinematic trailer characters that pop up, they look fake. They look uncanny. They are not people that you painted. Like, yes, a couple of them have proportions that don't make sense for people. You know what I mean? But the woman and the dude with the sword, well, he's a little tall. But still, Thanos is tall, and Thanos looked more real than them. You know what I mean? He looked more mocapped than they did. And I'm sure those other people were mocapped for the most part, right? They just didn't look real. They looked like Chronicles of Riddick goons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they also weren't supposed to be that important. They were just supposed to be fodder for people to fight. Tough fodder, In any case, those two fucks show up. And they start attacking. And then, one of the coolest scenes in this movie is Captain America shows up. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Coolest scene is when he shows up.
And he has a beard.
Yeah, yeah, and like, okay, that's a good choice. I hope he shaves it for the next movie. He shaves it for the next movie, cool. But from this one, he's got a beard, looks cool. He's
I'm gonna
on
do
the
a hot
run,
take.
Cap.
Okay, he's on the run. I wish he didn't have the full beard. I wish it was like more of like he hasn't shaved in a couple days. Like he still has access to razors. I think he should have the full beard in the next one.
Now, the next one takes place 5 years later.
That's what I'm saying. He's a different man now because things have changed. Then you have.
But he's a public figure now, so he's got to have that baby face.
Yeah, I there's like a for me just like as a follower and now a leader.
Uh-huh.
If you have a beard, I just respect you more. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's in our genes.
Damn. Okay. Women
I don't
have
know
to
what it
have
is.
beards, huh? Is that what you're saying?
Women can have beards.
But you're saying they have to be in order to be respected?
No, I just think, just in like something in my brain, when I saw him with the beard, I'm like, I like him more now.
I'm not going to argue with that particular instance, because I do like that. In any case, yes.
I just think I think it'd been cool if he had the beard in the next one, the bigger.
He's there. Scarlett Johansson's there, and her blonde hair and her jacket.
I like her blonde hair more too.
Dude, that's the dumbest thing about that Black Widow movie is they had to like show the origin of that outfit. Remember?
Oh
She's,
yeah.
I think I'm gonna dye my hair blonde. It's literally what she says, something like that at the end.
She can't just
and
be
like
cool
that
like
jacket
that.
was her sister's jacket.
Yeah.
Ugh. And that plane. This is how she got the plane, because that's her plane. You know, she got it from a government friend in that movie. Remember? That's how they'd explain how they have a jet. Now they could have just stole the jet, but that's fine. And I like that Black Widow movie. I'm not trying to make fun of that movie, but just the general Marvel Disney-ness of needing to have
Everything explained.
you know, everything tied together. That's why I liked the fact that, again, we said this at the beginning of this episode, or towards the beginning. There are parts that people tried to, after this movie and before Endgame, pick apart and predict. You know, they got something right where Doctor Strange says we're in the Endgame. Yes, that was the title of the next movie. They got that right? But, like, no, the drop of blood and this and that. Like, not everything. Some things can just be cool for the sake of being
drop
movie.
of blood. It means he's diabetic.
Yes. When Thanos snaps,
his weakness.
When Thanos snaps and he has this vision, and you see Baby Gamora, people are like, so when someone dies from the Soul Stone thing, they're in the Soul Stone, and he was talking like, no, that was just a vision he had because he finally got what he wanted. It's cool that that's what that was, you know. I digress, and I will be saying that a lot because there's a lot of shit in this movie. They all fight. They're all together. They go meet Rhodey, a.k.a. War Machine, at the Captain America base, the Avengers base. He basically says...
where?
Upstate New York.
Because they show another base later that's like out, like it shows New York City in the distance. And I'm like, that's supposed to be the same one. We both know, growing up in upstate New York, you can't see New York City in the distance.
Maybe they had multiple.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I got a little confused because like they wind up showing that later on, or earlier when Spider-Man got his new suit, because that's where it came from.
It might not have come from there.
It just showed a facility near like with New York City in the distance, like at least like 100 miles.
They
But
could
I
have
was like,
explained that's just land he owned or a facility.
I just
he
thought
owned. But
I just thought like, is that the same one that they're at now? Because if that's the case, they don't know where Buffalo is.
It smells like a new car in here. Well, you got to remember, upstate New York is literally all of New York except for Manhattan, Long Island.
But the way they just
Bronx.
made it, they share it. It makes them like, oh yeah, that's like Buffalo.
Buffalo's Western New York.
Whatever.
But yes, I agree with you. Sure, we're just jealous. Baby Gamora is what I wrote for the next thing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
We get to see her flashback.
He's trying to distract her from all the genocide and fascism he's doing in the background.
Yeah.
And let's make that clear. Thanos is a fascist. 'Cause I the whole meme back then when both movies were out, where it's like, oh, Thanos was kind of right. I'm like, no, he's not.
Yeah, but they needed this movie, I want to say, falls into the trap of bad guy has a point but goes about it wrong, therefore the point is moot type of thing. Lots of Hollywood movies like to do. I don't necessarily think this falls into that trap that much. However, they 100% needed an obviously wrong and opposable viewpoint of the villain so that you can still think he's cool, but like he gotta go down. You know what I mean? He gotta be stopped, you know?
Cause I'm like, he's an eco-fascist just by everything they've shown. Just because he's pro-environment or like balance of like, hey, when there needs to be a balance of things, doesn't mean...
And it's not a long-term solution because...
It's going to happen again.
He's not like he made it so that half of all life is infertile. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just going to grow back. You know, you cut a weed in half, it's still going to grow back and consume the garden. But I will say what it does provide is you take the man away from it and his ideology... I don't want to say can make sense, but if like, because they do the things where like, in these 5 years, I actually lived a good life. We actually lived a good life. Like the Falcon Winter Soldier show tries to do that. We're like, and then all these people came back and I got displaced out of my home because someone else claims it's theirs. It was always theirs, you know, this and that. Like we were better off before. Like some of that stuff is still cool. They get to have that distracted from the action that caused it because no one is going to disagree that that was a bad thing, but since it already happened, you get to have that back and forth argument. But yeah, I will say Josh Brolin does a lot of scenes very well.
Oh, he's great.
He is in 30 minutes of this movie on screen, roughly 30 minutes, and this is described as being his movie. Which is true because in Endgame, he's barely in it at all, and he just feels like he's just a bad guy they throw in because they needed to have all this other stuff, and he already had his movie for the most part, right? Well, we'll talk about Endgame when
really
we get there.
follows from his point of view mostly when you think about it.
I think it was described by the Russo brothers as a pilgrimage he was on.
Yeah, because he goes through all the places he needs to go to, does the things he wants to do, and says what he was planning to do by the end, which is go cook food and chill and vibe, smoke with a joint on some hand. Yeah, I wish he had a fucking joint. I think that would have been a fucking hilarious. That like it cuts to him just going like, but it's his like his fucked up hands doing it. And he just hits it. Oh, that would have been so funny. Someone should edit that. Or if they re-release it, they just throw it in. That's the only thing they change, but they don't tell anybody.
Now, I have a theory that they made those Warcraft trailer people look better because they didn't look as bad as I remember, but they still look noticeable. Because, you know, they do that. They touch up stuff. They touched up the Wanda show. They touched up the ending of that, you know? Brother. There is no... George Lucas was a prophet. He knew that, like, hey, eventually we're all just going to be changing our movies.
Whatever you say about his writing and whatnot, he predicted the future.
He's getting more and more of the appreciation that he deserved post the Disney acquisition, because they're like, oh yeah, when it's all profit-driven and none, like, for the sake of having a fun movie for kids, you know? The fact that Star Wars is as big as it is because he let the fan base do whatever they want. He wasn't going to stop. He wasn't going to shut down conventions or anything like that. If you want to have your Boba Fett convention where you all dressed up as Mandalorians, making your own custom armory, I'm not going to shut that down. It's cool. Celebrate how you want to celebrate it. There would not be a Mandalorian show on Disney Plus if it weren't for the fact that he let that just happen. You know, he was a good dude. He should make a Marvel movie. Imagine that. Disney's like, hey, make and just do whatever the fuck you want, you know?
And have
He's a bit of a kook.
Have Hayden Christensen come
Fuck
back.
it, yeah, bring him back. And bring back the little boy that played him in the first movie.
He's old now. Come on.
Yeah.
Make him Spider-Man.
He's like just a little bit older than us.
Make him Spider-Man.
Exactly.
New Spider-Man.
Gamora tells Chris Pratt to kill her if Thanos is in eyesight of her. Because
if shit
knows
gets
something.
real, yeah.
She knows something that Thanos cannot know. So does Nebula. And she knows this because but still, the point still stands. We get a Dave Bautista thing. I'm eating really slowly.
It's so creepy, and it's so funny though.
Yeah,
just standing there the entire time.
And the ship's not that big, so like, where are they all gonna go? You know. Then the Guardians show up in nowhere, which is a place from Guardians 1. Yep, Thanos was already there, and he's interrogating the Collector. Where is it? It's all a trick, though.
Where is it?
Where's the trigger? Where is it? Swear to me. Swear to me.
Yeah. See, if he was Batman, how cool would that have been? That scene. Swear to me.
Reality is whatever I want. Swear to me.
I just want to smoke a joint on my planet after I do my balancing shit.
I'm not the man we need right now, but I deserve it. Whatever the line is, he doesn't even say that. Yeah, he's there.
Joker.
And this, I now having again watching this again, I realize this is the last time Chris, that Star-Lord, that Peter Quill and Gamora see each other. It's the last time. Last time.
Yeah, that's kind of fucked.
Yeah, it's very fucked.
And he actually, I didn't remember because when the scene when like he has to kill her, he actually does. Like I give him credit for at least doing that. But then he fucks up majorly much later on.
Yeah, he's the reason why they lost. You know,
there's other people to blame though, because I still think they could have killed him. Like he's like frozen, just slit his throat.
Yeah, stab him in the chest,
blow his head off.
Yeah,
or
I
blow
mean
him.
he's super strong and whatnot. You know,
Maybe he has tough skin. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, again, Iron Man's doing haymakers with swords from his hands and all that for a drop of blood. You know, so
yeah, I just feel like just cut his head off. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I do like that Thanos is honest. You know, he doesn't lie. He doesn't do this or that. And it's like, yeah, he not makes fun of, but he he's very judgmental on the boyfriend. But then when he did what Gamora wants, he says, "I like you," and then leaves.
I like you.
Like, yeah. Lets them live.
I'm gonna add you on Steam later.
Yeah. Next we cut to I wrote Captain and Vision. So this is essentially Captain America and the crew there, and Vision and Wanda, they're like, okay, well, the stone's in his forehead, he's coming to get the stone, we gotta destroy it. But Wanda's like, no, that will kill my boyfriend, and you guys will all find out what happens when my boyfriend's gone.
Yeah.
I will be the new Thanos.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we can get it safely out of his forehead, right?
Vision
He's
literally
like,
offered. Vision literally gave up. Like he's like, yes, do it, no hesitation.
Yeah, it makes 100% sense.
Yeah,
like,
and I'm like,
fortunate to be alive, fortunate to give up for the sake of everyone else. Yeah.
And I think you have to respect that in this situation, and if the person's willing to do it, I think that's on them.
But she could not let that happen. All he had to do was rip the stone out of his head and then crush it, right? That's right. She can destroy the stone, right? And some because her powers, they say, come from the stone or whatever. But then in the Wanda show, that's not the case. It was always there and it was amplified, whatever. But yeah, we go to Wakanda. Cool. And on our way to Wakanda, we see Chadwick Boseman, and we see...
God, I just say that, like, this is the first time watching anything with him in it since he died, and I was like, fuck. Because, like, there's been movies we wanted to watch, and, like, I told Brandon, I'm like, I don't know if I can, because, like, it's different when you watch, like, an old movie where everyone's long dead at this point, or whatnot, you know?
Yeah. I watched Ghostbusters the other day. Bill Murray was in it. He's dead.
Yeah, you know, but it's like, it's like this weird thing where I'm like, because I've only seen him in Black Panther and in 42 parts of it. But like I've always wanted to like go back and watch those or watch his. There was one movie he did like, or that came out like a couple months after he died, and Bruno was like, "Oh, you should see it." And I'm like, I don't know if I can, because it's like so like it's weirder when it's like someone that just happened, you know?
Yeah.
It's even weirder like when you watch like at the time when what was it, Dark Knight came out, Back to Vengeance, with
Heath Ledger,
yeah. Where that was super weird for me as a kid to like watch that and be like, oh, I like this movie, but he's actually dead, like he's gone.
Yeah, and shortly after filming or whatever it was.
It's pretty messed up. So for me, it's like
that's going to be your issue. It's why you're not going to be able to see Morbius, because Jared Leto is going to OD on weirdo-ness. You know, he's just gonna. Hey, you either die a Jared Leto, or you live long enough to see yourself become an Ezra Miller.
Yeah, that's true.
So, or a Johnny Depp, I guess.
Yeah. So for me, it was just like, I'm like, damn, rest in peace. But
Yeah. And
that was like during 2020 when the world fucking sucked ass, and they're like, oh yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, and he's dead now. It's like, oh shit. Yeah. What's his
Black
name?
Panther is
there?
supposed to come out, by the way, the second one. Like, I totally forgot. I saw a poster at AMC. It's like coming out this year still.
Yeah.
I'm like, we've seen nothing.
Yeah, but that's how they were. They have too many movies lined up that they wait until
I'm
like
just crazy to me.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I feel like for
once Thor gets its run through, then they will go on the Black Panther.
I'm just
marketing
interested.
train.
What
This
they're
is how
gonna
they've
do.
always done.
I'm
those.
so scared though. I'm so scared they're gonna fuck it up.
Well, what's her name doesn't want to get the vaccine or whatever.
I'm just worried that I'm saying that they're gonna like.
So they might have had to cut stuff because
I'm
they
just
had to
worried that
cut
they're
her,
gonna
maybe I don't know.
they're gonna do something that's gonna like make me mad.
No, I think my prediction is there isn't a Black Panther replacement. There isn't going to be one. It is just Wakanda. It's called Wakanda Forever, right? So it's going to be them, their community, whatever, a team. If they need to have a super team, or if it's just our city state.
I just hope they don't do like I don't know.
No, they're not going to resurrect Michael B. Jordan's character. They said that they're not going to CG him like they did with fucking Carrie Fisher, which they should not have done. They should have just respected that she passed and wrote that into the story. Because I didn't appreciate that. And but they CG'd her in some stuff in Rise of Skywalker, and then they reused old footage. They should not have done that. They should have respected that she died. Yeah, I think it's going to be more about the people of Wakanda, the city-state together. They might end up being a bad movie. It might end up being a bad movie because whenever they try to not make it about the main character superhero, like Eternals, it's not good. So that you could run the risk of it's hard to follow the movie because there is no...
Yeah.
But it's also called Black Panther. It's not called Wakanda Forever. If it was just called Wakanda Forever, then I think you could easily see what I'm saying. But since it's called Black Panther Wakanda Forever, that means they have to do something about it.
Yeah.
They're going to find out he has a cousin somewhere. That person's going to become the king. People are saying it was going to be her, the one that won't get the vaccine, that was going to be taking it, but I doubt that. So, any case, yes, Bucky's there, and he gets a vibranium arm, and basically they said, like, yeah, war keeps coming for you. You don't get to stop. Seeing that now, I'm like, damn, this guy he's like an international wanted murderer, for stuff he was controlled to do. It's not his fault, obviously, but, like, he's just so much trauma. It's like, can't just literally let him just be in this field.
Yeah.
Just at peace. Let him do what he wants to, whatever. But nope. The man said, put this arm on and go punch some aliens. Here we go.
Yeah.
Then Captain shows up and everyone shows up in Wakanda. Like, all right, we need your super smart sister to laser beam the stone out of our red man's forehead. She makes fun of Mark Ruffalo's inability to do something sciencey, and he said, we didn't think of that. She said, I think you did your best, or I thought you did your best. Or I'm sure you did your best is the line she says.
I think you did your best.
Yeah, it was
Ratio?
weird. I could have condensed all this code into a much shorter amount of a packet, but sure. And then here is the plan. It's going to take forever to do this. Defend me. How long you need? Forever.
They're doing a tower defense game at this point.
Yeah, and like endless mode. This is the end of Halo Reach.
Yeah.
Where it's just a fight until you die. And then, yeah, of course, then that's when the aliens show up. And they begin fighting. But then next we cut to... Doctor Strange is on the ship being tortured. And then Iron Man and Spider-Man, they quickly save him. Then they crash land on Titan. Then the Guardians show up and attack them. And then we get what master do you serve? You want me to say Jesus? No. He says, "Oh, you're from Earth then?" "No, I'm not from Earth. I'm from Missouri." He says, "That's on Earth, dipshit." I love that.
Yeah.
The few times they use swears, because dipshit it obviously counts as a swear. That's very insultful swear. You know what I mean? I love it. That was a great usage. That's on Earth, dipshit.
I still want an F-bomb.
It was great usage.
We haven't got an F-bomb in Marvel, right?
I mean, Groot could have said it.
That's true. But I meant I want
Actually, he did in Guardians 2.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Welcome to the fucking Guardians of the Galaxy. They got away with it there. That counts.
Well, he
right?
said, he went around it. But I'm saying I want someone to say it. I want Tom Holland, the next Spider-Man, to be like, "Fuck New York," or something like that.
Has a Marvel movie said the word fuck? Guardians of the Galaxy and Guardians of the Galaxy 2 writer-director James Gunn revealed in a shocking deleted concept in a tweet responding to a fan's question about his sequel film. In a tweet, the Marvel director stated that a deleted sequence from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 had Rocket using some pretty vulgar language. Oh, whatever.
Like Star-Lord, I feel like could drop an F-bomb and get away with it. You know what I mean? Like, fuck Thanos. Like, I wish he said that. Someone's got to say it. Maybe Blade. I hope Blade's rated R. It won't be, but I hope it is.
Oh, yes. In Iron Man 2, Senator says, "Fuck you, Mr. Stark. Fuck you, buddy," but it's bleeped. That doesn't count, though.
No, yeah, it needs to be said.
Yeah, it doesn't count. Okay, sorry about the pauses. Yes, they decide, okay, we need to team up, but then, like, these people aren't getting it. Iron Man's like, okay, we are going to die, and these people are just treating it as if they're happy-go-lucky people, and that's how they've lived their life fighting people, so it works out. We kick names and take ass, as Mantis says. Yeah. But they surmise a plan between scenes. That's where you get your friend always do that? And it's Doctor Strange having a stroke, floating in the air.
Yeah.
He's like, Doctor, are you okay there, buddy? He's like, I'm seeing all the futures. I only live in one, so that's what we're going with. So only we live in one that we win. So we're going with that one. Then we cut to Thor and Groot and Rocket. And they go to Neville Delir, and we see Peter Dinklage.
Which is crazy, because I forgot he was in this. And then 2, technically, this is another Vin Diesel and Peter Dinklage movie.
Yeah.
Since, what you call it there? The court one. I forgot the name.
Find Me Guilty.
Find Me Guilty.
Yeah. In a way, because they probably did not meet for the filming of this movie.
No,
because
but it counts.
He says his line afterwards.
It counts.
Yeah, and I bet Peter Dinklage would not have agreed to the movie if his character wasn't giant. If he was literally called a dwarf and was his regular size, he wouldn't have wanted to do that.
Yeah,
because he's lambasted Disney for them starting to make a live action version of Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. It's like you are going with some very hurtful stereotypes of people like me. And
he was one in Game of Thrones, but he's such a good character in that show that I think that's why he. I mean, I don't know. I haven't read any interviews about it, but like I wonder if like
I hadn't really gotten. I started the audiobook for the first one, didn't get very far, and watched the show. Is he a fantasy race character, or is he just a person? Are they all humans?
He's a person.
Okay, because that's different than between like a D&D dwarf.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? If they said
his character's also,
we're going to get
his
Peter
character's
Dinklage,
also like
that's
amazing. Like, you know what I mean? So like,
I know.
feel like it gets away.
I know. I've seen that stuff.
You know,
but I think that's different because like, sure, I mean that's what I guess
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Because this is a fantasy dwarf in this movie. He's not going to want to do that if he's just, you could have just taken anyone and made him smaller. But yes, so they meet there. Here's where it kind of gets a little. Thanos killed all of the people that were there except for him. That doesn't seem very fair for his half and half thing, especially since he agreed to do what Thanos wanted. But again, maybe Thanos isn't 100% honest or honorable. He says, your life is yours, but your hands are mine. And so his hands are turned to stone, which almost made me think, what if,
or whatever.
maybe he would come back one day and say, make something for me and give you your hands. But then Thor is like, yes, but all of your knowledge is in there. Basically, just tell us what to do. He's like, okay, pick up that mold. Put it on the pedestal. We're not actually devising anything. We're just taking something I already had and putting it there. Yeah. Stormbreaker. So here's a piece of... I remember this after like one of the later watchings. They make an axe, right? They do not say that it's an axe when they're starting up this stuff. And then in a random scene, Thor says, but I need that axe. Talking about the weapon, but we didn't know it was an axe yet. So there's clearly a scene, or a line says it's an axe, that they cut, you know what I mean, later on. Mm-hmm. So they begin to start this, because then we cut to the Guardians and Iron Man, and I think Thanos shows up there, I think, or we just get more Guardians talking and whatnot. Because then we cut back to Thor again, and then we cut back to Iron Man again, and then we cut back to Thor again. So it's just a lot of cutting here and there and here and there. Sum it up as, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
They fight Thanos. They almost get the glove off, and then they don't. And then they get they almost got, like, I thought they did it. Like, I thought they were about to do it, and then like, but I like how they make this scene so tense that, like, you know, like it seems very kind of. They're just kind of winging it a little bit. Like, they have a general idea, but they're kind of winging it, just using all their powers to the best of their abilities.
Yep, even Mantis.
Yeah. And then, then Quill kind of just gets emotionally taken advantage of, and...
Yep, because he's a loser sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great scene. You're right. It's very tense. We almost got this off the glove off. Just calm the fuck down. Help us pull. You have Spider-Man pulling, which is strong enough, and you have Iron Man probably using his suit to propel away, you know, or whatever he needs to do. But then Thor reignites the star, and they make the thing, and he's not going to make it because he just took solar energy straight to the face, you know. And what does our hero Vin Diesel do, Devin? What does he do?
He literally cuts off his arm.
Yeah.
And makes it into the handle, which I just totally forgot about, which actually makes it pretty more badass.
It's awesome. I hope Thor Love and Thunder, because, you know, there's going to be a scene where Natalie Portman's Jane Foster is be like, oh, you have, because she has his old hammer, right? He's like, I got this too. He's like, yes, the handle is a friend of mine. So I don't know his name or, you know, whatever. I'm not a writer. You know what I mean? I hope that gets referenced, especially since he's like going to be with them for the first 10 minutes, like you say, or however long it might be at the beginning. Right. Yeah. I completely forgot about that. I'm like, oh yeah, they give him something actually important to do. He contributes to the story. He connects the two pieces, because one side's an axe, the other side's a hammer, right, into a long handle, and cuts his arm off. Love it.
Yeah, I just totally forgot about that. And I feel like all the heroes in this movie, like, either get beat up or do some sort of sacrifice. And I think that just shows the severity of the power of Thanos, I guess. Or how, like, it shows the potential destruction that he can bring, and that's why they're, like, willing to go to the death for a lot of them. So the fact, I just like that they kind of gave Groot something like that. So
yeah,
which I just totally forgot about.
Doing stuff. We skipped over the fact that Thanos and Gamora, basically he now knows where the other stone is. And they go there, and he sacrifices Gamora, and it's a very tense scene. Red Skull was there. I gasped in the theaters when I saw Red Skull. I'm like, no way, they brought this dude back. It's a different actor. He did not want to return. He actually, from what I gather, hated being in Captain America, First Soldier, First Avenger, whatever it was called.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's a different person, but still it's the character. Yeah. Well, he was a Nazi in that movie, so maybe he's a Nazi in real life. I don't know.
He's like, I didn't like how the Nazis were portrayed in this film.
As too wacky and goofy instead of this how seriously they should be taken.
Oh my, could you imagine that? That's what... Jesus Christ. Boy.
Yeah, Nazis. Any case, Thanos throws Gamora off a ledge. She dies, and that's it for her. He tries to. She almost gets a stab into him that might have done damage, but he bubbles the dagger away. Because
honestly,
reality is
that's such a
I
troll. Out of everything, he does that twice with the gun and then with that, and it's such a troll. He could have picked like it just dust or something, and it's like nope, it's gonna be bubbles. Like this is like a kid game or something. You know what I mean? It's just it's a low key troll. Like Thanos is a low key troll in this.
He is. But he never taught her to lie. That's why you're so bad at it.
That's why you're so bad at it.
Yeah. Fun little connection there. I think it was in Guardians 2. Peter Quill calls her out on a lie. He says, like, you're really bad at lying. And that kind of tied in this, yeah. You see, she was never taught how to lie.
Man, I need a joint right now.
Yeah. So basically, he gets that information out of her, to flash back a little bit, by torturing Nebula because it's in her recordings. So
classic.
She's
they have recordings. When you think
she's
I know,
she's like
I know, but
robot.
That's like having like you'd have memory, like your memories are just that's a whole other topic. Just I don't know if that'd be okay or not.
Dude, we're not gonna have phones in the future. It's all just gonna be ourselves uploaded. It's gonna
be actually bad.
It's bad now. It's already bad.
They're like, oh, remember that time you said a slur? We got it.
Yeah.
In the bank.
Canceled at 17. That stupid article.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god. Yeah, in any case, okay, cool. So now they're fighting on Titan, and they're fighting. Everyone's doing cool shit. It's cool. And then Steve Rogers is in Wakanda, and the aliens show up, and they're fighting, and it's really cool. Then Thor shows up in Wakanda, and they're fighting, and it's cool. It's just a lot of cool stuff. Captain America meets Groot. Vin Diesel met Chris Evans. He said, "I am Groot," and he said, "I am Steve Rogers."
That happened.
And I love when he goes, "I am Steve Rogers," and touches his chest like he's talking to Coco the gorilla. Like he's trying to communicate.
I think it was more of just like it's like a hand gesture to be like
Yeah. Well,
I think you just naturally do it. But I do like the idea. It could have been gorilla. Maybe that was the reference. I don't know.
I don't think he was trying to reference anything. It was like this.
I know.
He's talking. It's the first time he's ever met a non-human.
And he doesn't even hesitate.
Thing.
That's how good Captain America is. He doesn't judge.
Goes, I am Groot. Yeah. And then Rocket wants to buy Bucky's robot arm because he has a thing for stealing appendages.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Thor Stuck has a new eyeball now. So one thing I guess maybe I didn't really like that this movie did. It was like, okay, they made him like his father, one eye. He's visually and emotionally mature enough to be a leader at the end of Thor Ragnarok, and then they just put a new eye in him. So it was just as easy.
Chris
as
Evans was complaining a bunch about having to wear...
Not Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth was complaining about having to wear an eye patch, and they're like, fine, I'll retcon it. Just kidding, I don't know if that happened.
I wonder if it'll look obvious that it's a fake eye in Thor Love and Thunder. I wonder.
I think they just have his regular eyes from there on.
Probably.
Like, I don't think...
They probably just made it. Yeah, it just looks like his other eye.
That's how fake eyes work.
Or whatever. Yeah, sure. Everyone's fighting. Thanos shows up. No one can beat him. He snaps.
No one can beat me. I snap.
Yeah, they lose.
Huh, I win.
You should have gone for the hood.
Should have gone for the testicles.
My daughter. No, Gamora. You should have gone for the hood.
Yeah, everyone loses. That's it. It's cool.
You should have blocked me on Twitter.
I win.
Ratio.
It was cool and kind of fucked up. You get the sad scene where all of the Avengers are getting literally knocked away left and right by Thanos as he marches towards Vision. You gotta do it. All I feel is you. Very touching, right? And she breaks the stone and he dies. And then Thanos rewinds it, and Vision's last moments is horrifyingly realizing that they lost.
Yeah. It's
How fucked up was that?
Yeah, that was pretty good. I liked that.
I love it.
Because I remember when I first watched it being like, oh, cool, okay, they won, right? And then as they're doing, you're like, oh yeah, I forgot how all these things work.
Yeah, it's
over. It was over before he even after he got the time stone. Like once he got that, it was already over because it doesn't matter. He can just rewind it.
Strategically using it, as he could, if he's smart, and he is smart. That should have been the first one he went for. Obviously, you're gonna get the closest one you can because they're all pretty cool. You know what I mean? But yeah,
they're a cool collector's thing to have. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna
maybe not the Soul Stone. I'm not sure what that one was actually allowed him to do, but
yeah, I'm not really sure. I think that was. It's confusing of what that means.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's an explanation for them, like an official MCU explanation, but the Mind Stone was just power. The Power Stone was just power. The Space Stone in the Avengers movie was power until it becomes physical location. To teleporter, right? Time obviously is time. But yeah, it's a cool scene. He rewinds it like some cool Minority Report. I didn't see that movie. Thing where he physically rewinds his arm to rewind, And yeah, he just plucks the stone out of, and you see all the copper wires attached to it, and Vision's dead. And then Thor shows up just too late, throws the axe, it jams into his chest. But he
I kind of wish
Thor
came at that moment. I think that would have been a kind of a cooler entrance. That oh, he's here, and he still fucks up. I know he comes in to kill the swarm and stuff, but I kind of wish he came in right then and there. 'Cause that's what I remembered happening.
Oh really?
Yeah, I was like, oh, he gets the thing, and then he shows up to kill him, and he doesn't kill him.
He's 1,500 years old, he confirms in this movie. That's fucked up.
I've seen a lot, yeah.
Yeah, so they lose. That's it. Credits.
Obviously Spider-Man was the worst one.
Yeah, that was ad-libbed.
Yeah.
He said, I don't want to go, was ad-libbed. Yeah. I don't really have too much trivia because I could have just grabbed so much trivia related to the movie, but I wanted Vin Diesel stuff, and I only got two things. First off, I think that you knew this, but I knew this. James Gunn had said on Twitter, when Groot is being snapped away, he's turning to dust. He says, "I am Groot," and Rocket's there. Rocket Raccoon is there. The line Groot says is "Dad" as he dies.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
because it wasn't Daddy.
We'll have to ask James Gunn then if he actually meant Daddy.
Big Daddy,
as
he did.
Yeah, it was Dad, so that's sad. And Groot is on screen for 3 minutes and 15 seconds.
Hell yeah.
In the movie.
So watched all of it for 3 minutes. It's a YouTube compilation somewhere.
And he's in it longer in this one than he is in Endgame.
I think he's only at the end, right?
Only at the end. Yeah. So, well, now it's time to rank and review.
I was gonna say any final thoughts, at least for me. I kind of wish we got more content of the time period, either right after everyone snapped, or the last, the first year of it. I just feel like there's something, there's potential there to and it doesn't have to even be
to see the direct aftermath.
Yeah, to not because they show it. I really like the end credit scene there with Samuel L. Jackson of the helicopter flying in, but planes, train, any of these things that people,
automobiles,
there's so much shit that economies, politicians, but all these things is I'm
the
curious.
The beauty of this for Disney is that they have 5 years of in cinematic universe content they can make, and they bring some of that stuff up. They bring it up in the Hawkeye show. They bring it up in the Falcon Winter Soldier show.
I just wish it was happening
but they can keep doing that. They could
I would like it if it's not superhero related. It's just average people.
I think I'd just get a little too sad.
Oh yeah, it'd be sad. I need the depression. You know what I mean? I mean, like let's say like you can do a Lost reboot, but the plane crashes because the pilot gets snapped, and it's them figuring out on the island what the heck happened.
Okay.
There you go. Do a Lost reboot, but it's technically in the Marvel universe.
I will say another fun fact I remember is that because Joe and Anthony Russo helped write on one of my favorite TV shows of all time, Arrested Development, they put in Arrested Development nods and just in everything that they do, and there is one in this movie. There's apparently two. I don't know if the second one is a joke that they had said and wasn't real, or if there is an extended cut version of it, the prop shown, but the first one is real. When Tony Stark is talking to Pepper Potts and he says we finish each other's sentences, that is a nod because Jason Bateman and Portia, I forgot her last name, Ellen DeGeneres' wife, they are supposedly twins, but they always like do the finish each other's sentences, but it's actually not. That she says the wrong thing or he says the wrong thing. They say that, and you find out really late in that show she's adopted. She's not his twin brother. The parents just lied. So that was a funny joke. So they say it in here. And the other thing is, and you've seen GIFs, I'm sure, of character's name is Tobias Funke, but he is played by David Roth, I think is the actor's name. Completely blue and wearing jorts with no shirt, and he's got glasses and he's bald. Like the Blue Man Group thing. In the collector's area on Nowhere, in one of the pods, is a mannequin of that guy.
Oh, okay.
Because when I first saw that, I looked the scene up on YouTube, and I could not find it. But then I see a still of it in there, and it's just out of frame in a shot. Like a panning shot starts right after it passed, so to speak.
Okay, so it's like cut in half.
So it's on the set, and you could probably see it in some footage somewhere. So they threw him in there. But yeah, so overall for the movie, what did you think?
Watching it a second time, I guess like the ending isn't as like, I like the Thanos ending in the sense of him getting there, but like the actual people disappearing has less of an impact on me now because I just know that like they all come back besides people who sacrifice themselves in a different way. I kind of wish I saw this in theaters and had that kind of whole build up. Yeah, granted, I did see it, I think, like still like 6 months before the next one, but I definitely saw it later.
You didn't have that full year of just anxiety waiting. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Yeah, I had that.
So like,
that's when I was excited and happy with life.
I think we watched it in the fall. Yeah, watched it in the fall. But yeah. So for me, I think it's just still a solid movie. I kind of agree with you that I feel like the ending kind of felt a little like almost rushed. And I didn't really like the setting. Like I like Wakanda, but I didn't like that the visual aspect of it just felt very like just random. Felt like
forced.
I wish they could have just done it, like I said, either in space somewhere else or that same location where Iron Man was.
Or just move it into Wakanda, in the city.
Yeah, something like that. So I did like seeing all the characters come together, and it still kind of has that charm to it of like, oh, they're here, yes, they're here, yes, they're here. You know, then seeing them interact for the first time is kind of crazy. And
you always want more of that, right? You always want to see more interactions. Is Rocket Raccoon ever going to talk to any of these people again? Probably not, which sucks because he didn't get to see much. Well, he's in Endgame, so I take
that's why, like I said earlier, like I'm excited for Thor: Love and Thunder, even if it's 5 extra minutes of Chris Pratt and Chris Hemsworth together. Like that's cool. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think it's a solid film. I think it's definitely up there for me in Marvel films in terms of its epicness. I think
epicness.
I still think I lean towards Endgame a little bit just because of how crazy that was. And,
me too.
And I haven't seen it since we saw it in theaters together, so I'm really excited. Me too. So I'm really excited to kind of jump back into that. So in a way,
I saw it twice.
I am glad
I saw it in theaters again a second time, I guess.
I'm just kind of glad that we're at least able to watch this before watching that, and that Vin Diesel is technically in both of them. Because I feel like it would have been weird if we just jumped straight to Endgame. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's a solid film, and it has its moments. But I still, as a standalone thing, I think obviously it would struggle for anybody who hasn't seen anything.
Yeah,
or even most. I don't know.
One of the people I saw the movie with barely saw any of them at all. She's like, yeah, I don't really understand much of what was going on, but it was fun. I'll say a couple of things about the ending that I did like. The first one to visually, get turned to dust from the snap is Bucky, our Winter Soldier guy. He says, Steve, and he just kind of falls forward in the ground into dust. And then I like
when you
that,
saw it in the theater, was there any
there was a lot of so I saw it twice in theaters. Once with my father and once with our friend David.
Shout out to
and
David.
David and I went to Buffalo Wild Wings afterwards, and I'm talking about the movie and ranting about theories because I had already seen it, right? And David had a gift card to Buffalo Wild Wings. It was enough to pay for both of our stuff, and he had some left over. And I was like, I can get the tip. And he's like, no, I think we can just use the gift card. So he left the gift card as the tip. And afterwards, I'm like, are you kidding me? I think this was a really bad idea because I don't think that works like that. I don't think that the waitress can get reimbursed through the gift card for that.
Yeah, I think you'd have to do it manually. You'd have to put it as a credit, but I'm not sure. Oh, well.
But
when... you have to use the time stone to go back and change that.
So I saw it the first time. It was with my father, and there's lots of kids in there with their families. When Black Panther gets dusted away, there was some kids crying. When Spider-Man goes away, that's when it was fucked. You were a bad parent if you took your kid to see that movie, because Spider-Man died. Spider-Man.
Hey, teach the kids
died.
a lesson.
Groot
people die.
Died. In that movie, they threw Gamora off a cliff. They stabbed Idris Elba in the chest. They crushed Loki. I forgot what his actor's name is. Tom something or other.
Hiddleston.
They crushed Tom Hiddleston's throat. Who else dies? Vision gets his forehead crushed, caved in. Yeah, everyone. Yeah, lots of kids. Oh, it was not a happy scene. And then when they say Avengers: Infinity War in the closing credits, and they get dusted away, and it's sad music. Oh yeah, no, it was not a happy time. People were like, no, kids were crying.
I like how it says Thanos will return.
Exactly. It doesn't even say the Avengers will return. Thanos will return. We're fucked. And I liked his sitting, looking at the sunrise. I want to know. So he owned land, right? So did he include himself in the half and half? He knew he was going to be set afterwards. Did he feel like he would he earned that?
That would have been interesting if he dusts him he doesn't. He's like, and he starts dusting. He's like, I guess I got the wrong straw. He said, he's like, fuck, I thought that I would be excluded from this.
You know what? In one of these multiverse things, they're gonna say that. They're gonna say that he dusted himself in one of these. I like the movie.
Verb.
I like the movie. I like with you. I like Endgame more over over that. Just that's a more fun movie than this one. This one's tense, which I like. It's we were not prepared.
It feels
like
kind of like a race too, in a way.
Yeah. They were not prepared. Thanos showed up. They were not prepared. You know what I mean? But I enjoyed it overall. But yeah, it's less rewatchable to me than even Endgame is, just because it just ends with the cliffhanger, which means I gotta watch the next one in order to get a nice closure to it. But overall, I feel like acting on everyone was on point. Obviously, our villain there, Thanos, is probably the best actor in there, just because they made sure he got all the lines.
I get all the lines.
This is where the fun begins.
This is where the fun begins.
He doesn't say that in any movie, but that's our running joke, is that he did somewhere.
Ka-chow.
Now we rank this movie on our two lists. Now, folks at home can go to @SonicMovieShow on Twitter to see the lists broken down for you.
Go to the media part of Twitter. You'll see it.
Yep.
You'll see
latest one, probably.
Yes.
One of the latest ones, for sure. Chronicles of Diesel's ranking list, because we rank 2 lists here on the show. The movie ranking list, which includes video games, and the Vin Diesel performance ranking list, which is not all video games. That's a list. It's all Vin Diesel based ranking. So for the movie ranking list, we're ranking this movie as a whole. Vin Diesel can contribute to that. He can detract from it.
He can bring balance.
He can bring balance, as all things should be. Where should Avengers Infinity War lie? Well, let me read off the list for you first. I did not forget to read the list off. Don't look at me like that. Number 1 on our list is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Number 2, Guardians of the Galaxy. 3, Saving Private Ryan. 4, Fast 5. 5, The Fate of the Furious. 6, Fast and Furious 6. 7, Furious 7. 8, Triple X. 9, The Fast and the Furious. 10, Triple X, Return of Xander Cage. 11, The Iron Giant. 12, Riddick. 13, Awakenings. 14, Fast and Furious. 15, A Man Apart. 16, Find Me Guilty. 17, Boiler Room. 18, The Chronicles of Riddick. 19, Pitch Black. 20, The Last Witch Hunter. 21, The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. 22, D and Diesel. 23, Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk. 24, Knockaround Guys. 25, Wheelman. 26, The Pacifier. 27, Babylon AD. 28, Los Bandoleros. 29, The Chronicles of Riddick, Assault on Dark Athena. 30, The Chronicles of Riddick, Escape from Butcher Bay. 31, Multifacial. 32, The Chronicles of Riddick, Dark Fury. 33, Strays. 34, Wiz Khalifa featuring Charlie Puth, See You Again. 35, Fast and Furious Supercharged.
That makes me laugh.
And 36, Riddick Blindsided.
Every time you just read it off, because it's so like it's not supposed to be
too
written,
much
like read aloud. I feel like
Fast and Furious Supercharged.
Wiz Khalifa featuring Charlie Puth, See You Again.
See You Again
Is a top 10 hit
from that year, 2017. This 2018 film goes where on the list? If I can quickly throw out a thing, I think that this is at least top 10 quality.
No, I was gonna say. I think unfortunately, Triple X Return of Xander Cage is being knocked down, which sucks because I really liked that one. That was fun. That was a fun ride. But
yeah,
it's at least 11.
There's just too much cool shit in this movie. You know, it doesn't really have a theme besides that they fucked up by not being prepared. You could argue.
I think the theme is wear a condom. I think that's what the message they were trying to put across.
Really?
Put out a condom.
Destroy the stones if we want to use it.
Destroy your stones. She won't get pregnant.
Making this political. It's so tough. Where do we want to put this?
I mean, I think it's obviously higher than Return of Xander Cage.
Yeah.
And then the Fast and the Furious
10.
is the 4th movie. Correct? No.
The Fast and the Furious is 9. Fast
No,
5
I'm saying
is
is
4.
the out of the Fast saga it's the 4th movie.
Fast 5 is the highest Fast and Furious movie on the ranking list, and it's number 4.
I'm saying the Fast and the Furious is the 4th movie of the Fast saga. In like the order.
No, it's the 5th one because you have Fast 5, Fate of the Furious, Fast and Furious 6, Furious 7,
no.
and then
You're
the
not
Fast
getting
and
what
the
I'm
Furious.
saying. I'm saying there's Fast and the Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious. I'm saying what order, what one is that? I always forget.
What's your question?
I'm asking.
I'm so confused. You just want to know the order that the movies came out
No,
in?
is it the first Fast and Furious movie or is it the 4th one? The 9th one?
I see what you're saying now. The very first movie in the Fast saga is titled The Fast and the Furious, with an A and D for and. The movie titled Fast ampersand Furious
is the 4th.
Is the 4th one.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I had to triple check. I think it's better than that. And better than Triple X. Maybe.
Well, Fast and Furious with the ampersand is 14 on the list.
I know, I'm talking
Are you
about...
talking about The Fast and the Furious?
The Fast and the
I'm just
Furious.
trying to add to the confusion. Okay, so you're saying it's at least number 9. I think this is better than Triple X.
Okay.
I think that we get into, is this better than The Fate of the Furious? We have fucking 4 of these movies in a row.
Yeah, we need to break them up.
Just,
I think it's better than Fate and the Furious. I'm sorry. Like, the epicness is higher than that.
but Fast 5 cannot be beaten. I think that's a perfect movie, and you can't go better than Fast 5. And then you have Saving Private Ryan.
And Fast 5 does stand alone. Like, you could watch that by itself without knowing anything. You know what I mean? When Avengers, that's the one fault with this movie, is if you haven't seen anything else and you just watch this.
True, this is like the opposite of Fast 5. You need to at least see something to gain any context. I think we have our spot. I think this is our new number 5, right below Fast 5 and above the Fate to the Furious.
I think that's
Avengers: Infinity War.
I think I think if it explained everything somehow and did it in a good way, then I think it'd be up higher. But I think that's like the one thing that's really like pulling me back is that I think the cast is better. Sorry, I know Fast 5 got eat your damn veggies. There's some good one-liners in this too. I think it's a close matchup, but I think
the line isn't "eat your damn veggies"; it's "give me the damn veggies." The Rock says "eat your damn veggies" as he leads a military plane.
I just think that the cast is a little bit better in Avengers, but like I said, I think the main thing that makes it go down a notch below Fast 5 is the fact that you won't know you couldn't know anything in this.
I'm not going to lie. I just want Fast 5 to still be heralded as an amazing movie. So I have a bias in just wanting this to be up high.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I mean, that movie is just nonstop fun. This movie is also nonstop fun, but that movie is more digestible.
The stakes are higher.
It's standalone. Its stakes are higher. The good guys kill people, so there's some depth there. Yes.
I mean, yeah.
So, yes.
Just the Rock.
Our new top 5 is as follows: Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Guardians of the Galaxy, Saving Private Ryan, Fast 5, and Avengers: Infinity War. Some people are going to be upset that we put 2 Marvel movies above Saving Private Ryan and saying that they're better movies, but you know what? We're on a podcast and they're not. This is our show. Now we're going to rank Vin Diesel's performance. What did you think of his performance? I think he was barely in the movie. I think if talking about his other Grootness, I think this is 3rd compared to the Groots.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, we got to list it off.
We're going to read the list, but just overall.
3rd in the Groots? Yeah, 3rd in the Groots.
Yeah. Okay, here is the Vin Diesel performance list.
That's a bronze for this group here. Bronze by default.
And what sucks is I read off this list on a spreadsheet. We now have 37 things. After this, I now have to scroll to read the full list.
You do.
I have to scroll after this point now. Here's the Vin Diesel performance ranking. You guys can, once again, follow us along on Twitter. Number 1, XXX. Number 2, The Fast and the Furious. That's the first one. Number 3, XXX Return of Xander Cage. Number 4, Fast and Furious. That's the 4th one. Number 5, Find Me Guilty. Number 6, Fast and Furious 6. That's the 6th one. Number 7, Riddick. Number 8, Furious 7. Number 9, A Man Apart. 10, Fast 5. 11, The Last Witch Hunter. 12, The Pacifier. 13, The Chronicles of Riddick. 14, Babylon AD. 15, Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk. 16, Los Bandoleros. 17, The Fate of the Furious. 18, Guardians of the Galaxy. 19, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. 20, Boiler Room. 21, Multifacial. 22, Pitch Black. 23, Knockaround Guys. 24, Strays. 25, The Chronicles of Riddick, Dark Fury. 26, The Iron Giant. 27, Saving Private Ryan. 28, Vin Diesel. 29, The Fast and the Furious, Tokyo Drift. 30, The Chronicles of Riddick, Assault in Dark Athena. 31, Wheelman. 32, The Chronicles of Riddick, Escape from Butcher Bay. 33, Riddick Blindsided. 34, Fast and Furious Supercharged. 35, Wiz Khalifa featuring Charlie Puth, See You Again. And 36, Awakenings. Now, before you say anything, every time I read the Vin Diesel performance ranking, at least 2, if not 3 of these things, I have a mini panic attack in my head being like, did I read this name on the first list? Did I skip a name? Because I'm like, I don't remember saying Wheelman or Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
The first list, but I did, quite a list. And again, this is Vin Diesel's performance in these movies, devoid of the context for the most
performance
part.
does include if he's a producer,
Correct.
If he writes music for it or whatever, directs something, we also try to
his
put that
involvement
in
the movie, which is why Fate of the Furious is so low, because he starts the beef watch there.
Yeah.
People
might
taking the
look
mood
at
down
it on face value and be like, they don't understand that ranking. Go listen to the
And
episode.
if we hear, I'm going to put this out there right now, folks. If in the next few years we ever hear that, oh yeah, on Find Me Guilty, he was an asshole and he was always late, then that movie goes down the ranking.
Yeah.
Right?
Or the opposite happens, they find out The Rock's a dick. Then the
Redeemed. Angel.
Fate of the
Everything
Furious
is
now
tied for number one.
Vin Diesel
So this-
saved a crew member's life on production. That goes up. You know what I mean? Like, if that comes out, like, that helps. So
Yeah. He asked Billy Lynn, he asked Justin Lin, hey man, can we make it look like I'm a huge dick and make you leave so that you can have your own here? So then you get to leave and get a giant paycheck from another studio so that you can make the movie of your dreams, One Punch Man.
I know you love that manga.
Yeah. I'll take the hit for you.
I'll fire
Fast
you.
X, number one. So he said this is third of the Groots. The Groots are 18 and 19.
I'm sorry,
above
it's
Boiler
way
Room.
down. I already know.
I agree.
I think I
I'm
know
with
where
you.
this is going. Like, honestly,
Tell me where it's going.
I think it's either 30 or 29.
So it is a video game for the Xbox 360.
The video games
Beat
are awful.
out-
We know that. His performances are awful in that. Sorry, Vin. We wish it was better. We wanted to give you credit, but like, the games were bad, and then you didn't bring it up to even make it bearable. You know what I mean? So like Wheelman was fun because the controls are wonky and the shit is stupid, but he is awful in that. So it's
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we talk about voice acting and how it's hard to gauge that and whatnot. So that's why Iron Giant's kind of low, but like, we don't think he necessarily did a bad job in it, but it kind of was, his role was kind of like, the lines themselves are limited. And this, it was even more limited. He's in, you said 3 minutes. He has
15
one
seconds.
line in Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift.
But it's extremely memorable. He was when he was rolling with me. Jazz hands. I love that line. I will say this: Assault on Dark Athena has him speaking, has him saying things, has him talking to characters.
But it's not good.
It's not good, but he does it.
But the things
I'm
he says
willing-
in this, he says it's good.
I'm willing to go low, but I want to have Assault on Dark Athena stay at 30 and this go to 31 right above Wheelman. For two reasons. Number one,
Okay.
split up the video games on the list for fun. And B, because you know what? They were trying in that game to have his character prequel into the Chronicles of Riddick movie. And they tried to give him a sympathetic character to bounce stuff off of, this little girl, and he tries.
I don't even remember that, yo.
Yeah, I remember that movie. There's a little girl and she hides in the vents and she trusts
yeah.
this murderer of all people.
Yeah.
That's right. I wanted this to be 31, above Wheelman, below Assault on Dark Athena.
But
This is never going above Tokyo Drift. That's first off. Tokyo Drift is
Yeah.
staying where it is at, just because of the one fucking line.
But is the I Am Groot's more memorable than the Assault on Dark Athena lines? Can you remember one line in Assault on Dark Athena? Can you remember I Am Groot though?
I mean, I remember it mostly because of other movies. Plus, hey, we're talking about him always being late for Fast 8 or whatever. Well, guess what? Groot wouldn't pay attention to the team. He was just playing that fucking video game. That counts.
That's the character.
That
He
counts.
didn't write that character.
But he performed it. He
just
knew it
asked to do
so
line.
well.
Did he do multiple languages in this one?
I don't know. Probably.
That's better than he probably didn't do multiple languages for Assault on Dark Athena.
You don't know that.
I know that.
You don't know that. You want Assault on Dark Athena above or below Infinity War?
Yeah.
I guess I can slide with that. I guess as long as it's not going above Tokyo.
No, I
Drift.
wasn't. No. I think
My dream of
it's the
splitting
same.
up
It's
the
honestly
video
the same
games.
thing when you think about it. Like they're both the same type of performance, really. But one of them is
Phoned in.
he has to physically be in it, and there's some attachment to the other movies in it, and then I Am Groot is also attached to other movies, but
Sure.
he only has a couple scenes. I still can't get over Awakenings. Every time I think about that, we watched an entire movie, and he's in it for not even a second.
It's probably our longest episode because I was super anal about recapping the entire damn movie, like line by line.
We grew just like Vin Diesel
because he
grew.
opened a door. That's how committed we are.
It's half a frame, too. It's like it's so quick. Like you could easily.
You can't have half a frame.
It's half a frame. It's so quick.
It's very quick. He doesn't.
It's
even
not a
look
full
at the
second.
camera. His face isn't fully viewable by the frame. You know.
Yeah.
If he didn't say he was in that movie,
We wouldn't know.
you wouldn't know. There was a good chance he wouldn't know. Okay, so our Avengers Infinity War is 30. Stuff below it is worse. That's all you need to know.
And he's not. It's like I said. Like he's not bad as Groot, but it's just like, there's not enough. I feel like to.
And again, this isn't indicative of the quality of the movie. It's just he says 3 words in 3 minutes.
in multiple languages.
Sure. You know what? Then it's number 12 because it's above the pacifier. How many languages did he do in that movie? Jackass.
He speaks Spanish in some of the Fast and Furious movies. We need to bump it up.
That's true. That's true. That's true. This has been the Chronicles of Riddick for Infinity War, Avengers. See, I swapped up the title. Next month, for the month of July, no, for the month of August, this is July, we are watching Ralf Breaks the Internet for what I imagine is an even lesser amount of Groot. But he is in it. I had not seen that movie, so I guess
what?
I don't
when
know
next
for
month
fact.
even is his birthday. And I remember it's not.
Really?
I'm remembering now. It took me 2 years, but now I'm like, I think his birthday's in July. When you said July, I'm like, I think his birthday. Yep, July 18th.
Damn. So in 17 days as of the time of this
We should
publication.
do a birthday post and tag him.
You can do that.
Okay.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I was gonna put his face on a cake or something.
Oh, you want to make an image for it?
Yeah.
If you want, you can do it. Or if you just tell me if you want me to do it. Tell me what
Be
you
like,
want.
happy
Or you can
birthday,
do it.
Sinclair.
Ooh, does he want to be called that?
No, that's his last name.
Is that his dead name? Goodbye. No, I'm kidding. We'll see you next month. We are on Twitter at Sonic Movie Show, like I mentioned before. Devin is on Twitter at CursonaFun. I am on Twitter. My name is Ethan. At Ethan, absolutely. Let us know what you thought about Avengers Infinity War, but only like stuff that matters. Like, just don't Marvel geek out at us. Just be like, it's cool because of the things that this show's about, all right?
I like him because he's purple.
Exactly. Say that line. Tweet at Vin Diesel. I liked Thanos because he was purple. We will see you next time. As always, have a fantastic day.
Wiz Khalifa featuring Charlie Puth. See you again.
I think Thanos would say it like that.
What is it with you? What do you got, a death wish or something?
That's what it takes. I just want to race. Ride or die, remember?